welcome back to Books with Brandywine. I feel like this month, well, last month I guess, January, went so fast, and it's already the end of the month, and by the time you guys see this video, it's gonna be February 1st, and I can't fathom that it went so fast. But I was able to get some books, so I wanted to go over my January 2019 book haul with you guys. The first book haul of the new year. So the very first ones, I actually bought these today. They came out today, which is Tuesday. Let you know what day I'm filming. So these are two graphic novels called Wires and Nerves and Wires and Nerves 2. And they are the continuation of the Lunar Chronicles story in graphic novel form. They are absolutely gorgeous. I love the layout. I love the colors. Very blue. It's also blue inside. And I'm looking forward to reading these as soon as I finish reading 21 Balloons, which is what I'm reading right now. And then I'll read these and I'll have, again, completed the Lunar Chronicles. The next book I got is Stardust. I did not know this was a book. It is one of my favorite movies. And then I saw that somebody had posted on, I don't remember if it was like their book tag or what it was, but somebody posted about this book. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's a book. And because I love the movie, I had to get the book. And I happened to see it while I was looking for the Lunar Chronicles to buy the rest of the series. It was way up at the very top of the shelf, and I was like, I'm coming back for that. And I did. I'm really excited to get to read this one. The next book I got is The Selection, which is the first book of a series that I cannot remember. I don't actually know the name of this series. I'm sure I'll find out later. But I've been kind of curious about this series. It's kind of been in the corner of my eye, and I figured I would go ahead and buy the first book while I saw it, so I can start that. The next book I got is The Looking Glass Wars. I've been wanting to read this book for a very, very long time. So when I went to Comic-Con in 2007, they had just come out with one of the sequels to this book, which is called Seeing Red. I believe that's what it's called. And I don't remember what number in the series that book was, but they were coming out with it, and they were passing out the arcs at the Comic-Con. And so I got one of the arcs, and I didn't know anything about arcs. I hadn't read the series. It sounded vaguely interesting, but I hadn't gotten around to reading it. And after almost 10 years, I still hadn't gotten around to reading the series. But one of my friends is a huge fan of the series, so I gave her the arc. And it's one of those things, I'm glad I gave it to her, but at the same time, I'm like, books! I have a hard time giving away my books. So I looked for this at Barnes & Noble, and I was like, it's time. I need to read the series. I need to find out what happens in the series. So I picked up the first book of The Looking Glass Wars. The next book that I got is The Fork, the Witch, and the Worm by Christopher Paolini. This is Tales from... I have not pronounced this word in 10 years. Alagasia? And it says it's volume 1. So I'm guessing there's going to be more of them. And from what I've heard, it's a bunch of short stories that take place 2 years after the inheritance cycle ended. I don't know for sure because I haven't read it yet. But it came out the other day and I immediately grabbed it. The rest of my inheritance cycle books are hardcover. So I wanted to get hardcover for this one too. So it'd have the continuancy? Is that the right word? So I'm looking forward to reading this, but I do want to reread the entire inheritance cycle before I get to this book so that I have a refresh in my mind of what's happening, because I think it has been 10 years. However long it's been since those books came out is how long it's been since I've read them. So I don't really remember everything in the books. The next book I got is Life and Death by Stephanie Meyer. I will probably get a lot of flack with from my friends, but when I read the Twilight series, I didn't think it was a masterpiece of works, anything comparable to Shannara, but I enjoyed it. And I pride myself on reading every book in the series. So I've read all of the main Twilight books. I've read the novella that went along with it. It was called The Incredibly Short Life of Bree Tanner or something like that. And I saw this one. I remember when I first saw it, it was I think it was an anniversary edition, and it was the Twilight book at the beginning, and then at the end they had this, which is, I believe, a gender bend version? Is that what it's called, gender bends? Where originally it was Bella and Edward, and now it is Beaufort Swan and Edith Cullen. So they switched the genders. And so I'm curious to see how it is. It says it's the 10th anniversary edition. I like the Twilight series. I mean, I'm not like super Twihard or anything, but I liked them. And then the next book that I got was The Ranger's Apprentice, The Royal Ranger, A New Beginning. And I've mentioned this in some of my other videos. I did already have the hardcover version of this book, but the hardcover version is the 12th book in the series, and it was meant to be the last book in that series. But it was good, and I don't know all of his reasoning. I assume it was because it was really good and really popular. He decided to make that book its own series, and so it became the first book of a new series, which I have the second book for already. But I really wanted to get the paperback version that says that it is the first book in the new series. So technically I have 2 copies of this book now. And it's so pretty. I mean, check out that sword. It's got the oak leaves all over it, and I love her hair. I love braids. I really love braids. So yeah. So now I have this one, and it is, I think it even says, like, it's the rise of the new ranger. And see, it even says book 1 on the side. So I really wanted that, like, book 1 thing. And since they didn't have the book 1 version in hardback, I had to get the paperback version. But I finally have it. And then the last new book that I got this month is this one, The Gift That I Can Give. It was by Kathie Lee Gifford. Kathie Lee Gifford. I feel like I should know who that is. Oh, okay. She's that lady from one of the ladies from the Today Show. So I don't actually watch the news or TV. I don't have cable. So I was like, I know her name sounds familiar. But I didn't know this was by her when I bought it. I just bought this book because I love the message that is in here. Like, it talks about, like, being your very own special me. And just, like, the whole book is, like, awesome. It's, like, what is, like, discovering what your gift is. And it is, I don't want to say it's like a religious book, but it is talking about the gift that you get from God. So not everybody is going to like this book. I am religious, as many of you know. So for me, I love that concept. I do believe that our gifts come from God. It is the signed copy. It was the last signed copy that they had at my bookstore, and it was the same price as the non-signed copy. So I got the signed copy. But I love this book. I think it's gorgeous. I love the message that it sends, and I'm excited to read it with my son. So those are all the books that I got in January. I will see you guys next month with all the books I get next month. But I have 1 gift card left, so we'll see how that works out. But I'm excited. Oh my gosh, going to the bookstore, there are so many books that I want, and I know you guys feel the same way. We all have this problem. There's more books than we could ever possibly read on our TBRs. But we will try. We will try to read all of the books on our TBRs. But anyway, I will see you guys next month. Well, I guess this month, because this will already be filmed next month. But I will see you guys later. Bye.